In this video, we'll set up our project, add the repository to GitHub, configure Spotless for code maintenance and formatting, and finally, set up GitHub Actions to check pull request. Welcome to our channel, Coroutine Lab. So let's get started by creating a new project in Android Studio. First, open Android Studio and click on New Project. In the next window, select the empty activity template and click Next. Name the project cachewise and set the package name to com.coroutineLab.cachewise. Keep the minimum SDK as API level 24 and select Kotlin DSL for the default build configuration. Click Finish and let the Gradle sync complete. Now we will enable version control. Once the Gradle sync is complete, go to the VCS option at the top and select Enable Version Control. In the next window, choose Git as the version control system and click OK. Now, go to the Git menu, select GitHub, and choose Share on GitHub. In the next pop-up, provide the repository name as cachewise, keep the remote as origin, and click the Share button. In the next window, deselect the .idea folder to avoid sharing unnecessary files. Add a commit message, CW26 create and add the initial project. Finally, click Push to upload the changes. Once completed, you should see your repository live on GitHub. With that, we've completed our first task. Since this is a technical task that doesn't require testing or review, we can directly move the ticket to the done state. Now, if you check the Sprint Insights tab, you'll notice a slight downward shift in the burndown chart. The sprint burndown chart shows how many points or issues have been completed versus how many remain. The gray horizontal line serves as a guide, indicating where the team should ideally be to finish the sprint on time. This gives you a clear visual of progress and whether the team is on track to complete all tasks by the end of the sprint. With that, we've successfully set up our project and completed our first task. Now let's move to our next story, setting up Spotless. Spotless is a code formatting tool that ensures a consistent code style across large code bases. It automatically applies formatting rules, making it easier to maintain clean and readable code. We'll start by creating a new branch from the main branch named CW9 add Spotless. To set up Spotless, open the libs.versions.toml file. Add the Spotless version 6.25.0 under the versions reference block. In the plugins section, add the Spotless plugin entry. Next, open the app-level-build.gradle.kts file. Start by applying the Spotless plugin in the plugins block. Outside the plugin block, configure Spotless to apply to all subprojects in the Gradle build file. Then we configure Spotless to target all Kotlin files in the src directory, while excluding generated files in the build folder. Let's configure Spotless for Kotlin Gradle scripts. Target files with the .kts extension. We also apply KT-lint, a popular Kotlin linter, to enforce style rules in Gradle build files. Finally, we use the after evaluate block to ensure that Spotless formatting is applied automatically after the Kotlin compilation tasks. To validate the Spotless setup, open the terminal and run the command Gradle w spotless apply. Next, let's see how we can configure KT-lint to enforce custom style rules in our Android project. We'll configure KT-lint using the editor config override method, which allows us to customize various coding rules. The complete list of rules that can be overridden is available online, and I'll attach the link in the description for your reference. You can tailor them according to your project requirements. Once the configuration is done, we'll push the changes to our branch and raise the pull request. We've used squash and merge instead of the regular merge for our pull request. Squash and merge combines all the commits from a feature branch into a single commit, creating a cleaner Git history. This is suitable only in a small team. In contrast, A regular merge creates a merge commit that combines the feature branch with the main branch while preserving all individual commits. With this, our second goal is also complete. We will now focus on our next task, setting continuous integration using GitHub Actions. The goal of CI is to shorten the feedback loop during development and quickly identify and fix errors. Make sure to pull the latest changes from the main branch to ensure your branch is up to date. Create a new branch and name it CW10. Let's start by adding the first workflow. Right-click on the project name and create a file. Workflows/PR check. The format of this file will be YML. Our objective is to ensure that no developer can accidentally push or merge code into the main branch if the Spotless check fails. To achieve this, let's start by naming our workflow pull request checks. We want to trigger this whenever a pull request targets the main branch. Next, we define permissions for the workflow. The contents. Read permission allows the workflow to read repository contents. While pull requests, write. Let it post comments or update the status of pull requests. Our workflow includes a single job called build, which runs on the Ubuntu latest environment. This job performs all the necessary steps to validate the code in the pull request. The first step uses the checkout action to clone the repository. We then set up JDK 17 using the setup Java action. This is essential for building and running Java-based projects. Before running Gradle commands, we grant execute permissions to the Gradle script using the chmod command. Finally, we run the Spotless check to validate that the code adheres to your project's formatting rules. Similarly, we'll create another file in the same directory named delete branch on merge.yml. This workflow will ensure that feature branches are automatically deleted after they are merged, keeping the repository clean and organized. We begin by naming the workflow merge PR. This workflow is triggered when a PR is opened, closed, edited, or reopened. Next, we define a single job named AutoMerge, which runs on the Ubuntu latest environment. The main step in this workflow uses the delete merged action. This action identifies and deletes branches that have been merged into your base branch, excluding the main and production branches from deletion. The GitHub _token is passed as an environment variable, enabling the action to authenticate and interact with the repository securely. Both of our workflows are complete, so let's commit the change and raise the pull request. I'll demonstrate this process once more, but moving forward, we'll skip showing all the PRs at the end of each task to save time. However, you can always check the commit history and pull requests on GitHub to follow along. Each PR will be linked to the ticket number we created earlier, making it easy to track progress. If the Spotless check is successful, then we will see the build is passing and we can merge the code to the main branch. You can also check the Actions tab on GitHub, where you'll see the two workflows we just created. Let's select our first workflow run from the Actions tab. Here, you'll see details such as who triggered the pull request, the status of the workflow, and the total duration it took to complete the run. Now, let's click on Build. You'll notice all the steps we defined in our workflow being executed in sequence. First, the job setup begins. Then, the checkout step retrieves the code from the repository. Next, the JDK is set up, permissions are granted, and the Spotless check is executed. After that, some cleanup steps are performed, and the job is marked as complete. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Drop a comment to share your thoughts or ask questions, and check out our other videos for more valuable content.